Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy Big T, and welcome back to Barber Banter. So, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Yo, this week's topic is all about who's to blame for the rise in violent crime in London. Here in 2018, the murder rate has already surpassed 2017. And the year is not even done yet. Summer is not even done yet. So who's to blame for the crime wave in London? Are these youngsters on road to blame? Is the drug trade to blame? Is trap drill music to blame? Is social media to blame? Is the police cats to blame? Who knows? Have we become a negative society? Glamorizing the violence, obsessed with social media? Are we tired of the youngsters dying on the streets? We need answers. For this week's topic, I brought in an active gang member who goes by the name of Ace, which his face will not be exposed for obvious reasons. We also brought in a university student, Kay, and two youngsters, Ballad and Daniel, with the huge suspect of Skull Dogs, Uncle Pat, Alex, and myself, Big T. So let's take this topic to the barber shop and see what people think.
The way that we celebrate certain people and certain things that they've achieved needs to change before we start saying, right, don't do that. How can you say to a kid, don't do that, yeah, when he sees no other way out and everybody that he's looking up to is winning that way?
Because once you get nicked, yeah, you lose everything. Once you get a bullet in your head, you lose everything.
You know when your mum's suffering, yeah, and you want to provide for your family, innit, and make differences, yeah? You can't get paid, this is straight cash in hand, yeah? 24/7, I'm my own boss, I do my own job.
There is no which way that you can condone an adult approaching children to sell drugs. No. There is no which way that you can approach it.
Brother, watch your mouth, you know, because you're talking too much, bro. Real talk, you're talking too much, innit? Yeah? So you need to hold your lips. You don't know me, you don't know where I'm from, you don't know my story, nothing, yeah?
He don't understand. He definitely don't understand.
Do you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not from nowhere.
Yeah, so Ace, Professor Ace here. So what do you think, yeah, people are saying that increasing the violence is because of the drug dealers like you? They're saying that that's the reason why there's increasing violence in London. What do you think about that?
You know what, more time we're just dealing with what we got in it, so we're just out here trying to make the most of our situations. Some people got it better, some people don't. We ain't the ones that's bringing in the drugs, we ain't the ones that's bringing in the guns. Like, the government are bringing in ones if you look at it properly, but you know, you got the resources, got the clients, you just got to do what you got to do. I've probably been involved for about, I'd say maybe 10 years, since I was about 13. Obviously, growing up from when I was young, I used to see it with the local guys like doing their thing, and what they can do, I can do, innit? So I didn't see anything different between me and them. I started to make my little drinks here and there, and I thought, you know what, it's time for me to do my own thing. Yeah, I've had my setbacks, yeah, I've got in trouble, yeah, I've had shit times, but I've also had great times too, so fuck it, innit? My mum's happy, I'm happy, yeah, she ain't happy, I'm doing what I'm doing, but she's living well, innit? Bills are paid and she's eating nice, so you know what? I can't really care what anyone else thinks.
Well, you know what? Really and truly, I ain't even on the road that no more. I've got my little runners, to be honest. Keep it simple, keep it off. Let me tell you, if I get caught, it's long. It's a whole chain of reaction. But if these little boys get caught, oh, it's a slap on the wrist, quick 2-3 years, you know. So just keep it simple, innit?
So your brother running for you then?
My brother?
Yeah.
You know what, yeah?
Your little brother, he's running for you?
I don't really talk about my brother too much, you know. He does his thing, I do my thing, innit?
Yeah, but if you had a little brother, would he be running for you? That's what I'm asking you.
Well, to be honest, why don't I keep it in the family, innit?
Oh, so you would let your brother run for you then?
Yeah, I'll keep him more next to me.
Yeah, but would you let him run for you? That's what I'm saying.
You know what? He's got to start somewhere, innit? I started somewhere, so I let him run for me, but I'll keep him close if I had a brother, innit?
Why would you even put your brother, for a start, why would you put your brother in that position? And Ace, I'm sorry, my bro, no beef and that, yeah? But if I was your dad or your mum, I would slap you down. Say you're gonna put your little brother in that position. to be shot in, and you can't even sit on camera with bare face. You have to wear ballet. That's how deep it is. You're such a bad man, you have to wear ballet. Real gangsters don't have to wear ballet.
So how come you get the youngers, yeah, to sell the drugs for you? Why don't you get a big man to do it for you? Why the youngers?
You know what? The kids, they see the life. They want to live the life. They do what they're told. They don't argue. Not much questions. They get paid. They go home. Happy days. Too much bickering. Too much this and that with the big man. You know.
So what sort of, like, because I know that if you try to get my son to run for you, it's gonna take it to another level anyway. But still, do you know what I mean? If you try to get my son to run for you, it's the next level. So what sort of children are you getting to run for you?
More time, I'm about, and I see the same youths on the road doing nothing. Yeah, I see them on the road doing nothing. I say, boy, what, you want to make an opportunity here? Come make some dollars. Sometimes you clock these kids with their parents. Their parents are a bit mash up, a bit crackheads and whatnot. Like, they're the easier ones, if I'm honest, because they got the freedom. The parents don't really care that much. But more time, these kids even see how I'm living and they want to ask me how they can make some money. You know?
The reality is though, but that's like, I feel what you're saying. Like, don't get me wrong, yeah. I ain't judging. You know, I can't judge how nobody makes their pay at all. But I see what you're saying, because I'm from the same area, innit? You see the same kids just chilling on the corner, literally doing nothing, innit? Somebody is gonna pick them up and put them to work. It's sad, innit? But that's where I feel like the government is failing. That's where I feel like the systems that are meant to be making sure them kids aren't jumping into things are failing, innit? Right, everyone's so quick to point the finger at what's going on the road.
Why the government though? Why not the parents?
Because the parents don't have the funding and the infrastructure to do the things that need to be done. Like,
no, that's excuses. No,
it's not excuses. Hear this. Hear what I'm saying to you. You can raise your kid a certain way, right? But if your kid gets to an age where all they've got is what you've taught them, right? So you can raise your kid not to be a drug dealer, not to be this, not to be that. But by the time they hit 16, 17, they're on road now, innit? They're making their own decisions, their own choices. You feel me? Right? All they've got is your moral compass. More time, they're still gonna do the things that you didn't want them to do. It's just they might clock. Now you know what they say for me. Just because of what you taught them. Now all I'm saying is if there was more institutions, there was more things like the old school back in the day, there was youth centres. Do you get me? You didn't have to stand on a corner. You didn't have to be out on the road. You could go bang ball in a youth centre. You could go play.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have gang coming down to the youth centre and say, yeah, I know this guy's gonna be there. I know this youth's gonna be there. So yeah, but there was less of that when there was this. When we had that in it. Now that we don't have that, now it's just straight up some. I see man on the road, I'm gonna do him a thing, because you're gonna see him.
I've always said this. There's always been this. You know, violence and stuff, street violence that's going on in London, but I do feel like the age has got younger. That's one thing that's definitely something that I've noticed is that there's younger kids getting involved in this madness, and I do believe that's got a lot to do with social media. I don't necessarily think it does have as much to do with music as people are saying it. I think kids are doing this stuff and they're making music about it. I don't think it's vice versa. I don't think they're making music about it and going and doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? They are talking about what they're living or what they're seeing or what their people next to them or around them are living and seeing. And I think it's messed up, man. And I do believe that it is getting to the point where we're going to see, 10, 11-year-olds stabbing and shooting each other. It's getting to that point because nothing's being done. As much as people are like, oh, this needs to change and that, I don't really actually see any real change.
No, do you know what it is? No, what I was going to say, right, is that at the end of the day, a child is a child, and a child will be led in the way that a child is led. So for me, if a child's outside on the road at a youth club, that's that child's business. But for a big man to approach them and ask them to do something for them, that's where it becomes whack. I think that's pathetic. Like for you to go, nah, blood, that's nuts. Like,
but what about the kids that are approaching him that come and step to him?
But do you know what? As far as I'm concerned, two wrongs don't make a right though. So if he's approaching them, that's a one issue. But if a child's approaching him, that's the next issue. Like if a child is approaching him, that's a problem. You can argue that's a problem with the parents or society, whatever. But he's approaching children.
That's my job. That's my job.
No, we need to find a new job. That's not okay. You need to change your job. That's not okay.
It's pathetic, really and truly. And do you know what it is? I think that if you're going to do something, do it with your whole heart. If you want to be a drug dealer, you be a drug dealer in the worst case scenario. But for you to then bring other people on board, you're corrupting people. You're not doing it yourself. You're bringing other people on board, and these are children. Children whether they think so or not, children can't often think for themselves. So when, it's not even about being from a broken home, in my opinion. If you are offered an opportunity to earn 100, 200, 300 pounds a week, whether you're from a broken home or not, from a child's point of view, they're not seeing it as 300 pounds, they're seeing it as, oh damn, I can get the new Xbox, I can get this, I can get the new trainers. So I think that there's drug dealers, they're a real threat, they're a real risk, because there's no question that they can corrupt children by simply saying, do you want to earn £100 a week? That's just, it's unparalleled, that will corrupt a child. Of course, what child would say no? Because the way how they frame that story isn't, okay, you're going to be running drugs. It's you're going to be earning £100 a week to do something simple. To do something simple, and it's always simple until it goes wrong. And then when it goes wrong, then where's that person? Nowhere to be seen.
But the thing is again, like what we're saying. So this is what I'm saying though, because what we're now now we're getting into a debate around the acts, but it's not the acts, it's what's causing the acts, and we're not having those discussions.
If he's not doing it, it's not telling him to stop. Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you do this, do that. But if he's not doing it, there's another man doing it. That we got to get to the root of it. Do you know what I'm saying? To the point where people don't feel the need to do it, where there's other alternatives, there's options. Do you know what I'm saying? And people go, yeah, there is options, there is options. There is options to live, but...
The solution is to look at what Ace was saying. Look at why there are these kids that are so vulnerable. Look at where they're coming from. What can we do to make them less vulnerable, so that people like Ace and others don't have the chance, the opportunity to offer them these opportunities to get into the drug trade and stuff like that. We have to look at that. Why are there kids out there at 14, 15, 16 on a street corner with no parents around them? You know what I'm saying? Why are they so starved of money or food and stuff like that, that they feel that that's the only way that they can provide for themselves? We need to look at that. That's the solution. Finding out why that's happening and rectifying it. You know what I'm saying? It's not black and white, but that's what we got to do.
I know. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone wants to try and live that life. Everyone wants to pop bottles.
Yeah, no, but not everyone doesn't. But everyone doesn't want to pop bottles. Not everybody wants to lines on you. Wants to live that lifestyle.
A large majority of people do. You know what I'm saying? And that's something you complain about.
No, but so you have to check yourself then and see what's your alignment.
I see where Kamal's coming from.
You don't understand.
The fact he's tagging kids here is kind of deep in it, but.
It's embarrassing.
What you got to say about that?
Teenagers, listen.
It's the same thing.
Listen, I started, I come from where I come from. I done what I done. I started early. Yeah?
So you must fuck up somebody else's life.
It's not fuck up. It's not fuck up because they're big enough to say no. I say what I want to say then, so why can't they say it to me? More time, I'm not even forcing these kids or scaring these kids. They just want to have a piece of the lifestyle, innit? Yeah, the family, the unit, yeah.
And the thing is, hear what's like.
Yeah, there's a family, like, come on, these boys, they get looked after, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a joke, really and truly, like, you talk about me being a predator, this, I'm just helping these kids, and it's just because it's illegal. If it was legal, if I had a legitimate drug dealing business, what would you lot call me then? Would you say I'm a social person that helping all the kids, like, and taking them off the road and buying them food and looking after them, making them feel comfortable? Yeah, because my kids, they don't feel abused and victimized and this and that. They know what they're signing up for. Bigger the risk, bigger the reward, innit? Yeah, and drug dealers are not to blame for the violence, because you don't hear this cartel killed this cartel in England. You're hearing it's happening on the road, it's happening in the States, it's happening at parties. Yeah, it's happening on the streets over dumb fiddle faddles. Yeah, more or less gang business than drug dealing business.
But then can you see what's happening here now? Because what's happening is you're talking about, from your perspective, it's messing up. From your perspective, it's positive. Because from your point of view, what you see is these kids want something to do, so I'm giving you something in the here and now. I think what you're talking about is in the long term. That's why I'm saying there's truth in every narrative. But from this perspective, it is a positive movement because it's doing nothing, so I'm giving you something. But from your point of view, what you're talking about, which is right, is also right, is that in the long term, it's not a positive. So this is where I think, in terms of debating and building, this is where we need to look at where this fits in the puzzle, because both pieces fit. But what we're trying to do is argue and cancel each other out. Well, right is about perspective.
Well, I think there's a lot of issues and a lot of holes and a lot of kind of stuff inside within the youth community. A lot of holes, a lot of kind of emotional malnutrition, and I think the whole instant gratification, the appeal for making money, I think that's kind of the appeal for kids. You're dealing with kids that are trying to search for feeling significant, and within the bigger system,
a lot of them are feeling insignificant. You are living in a society now where consumerism is pushed at us everywhere. If you don't have this, if you don't own this, if you don't have this status, you're nobody. Social media, main media, advertisement. So if you've got an easy way to make money, then for a lot of young people, it's a no-brainer for some of them.
No, but hold on, there is no which way that you can condone an adult approaching children to sell drugs. No. There is no which way that anybody...
Brother, so the question is... So when this youth is flossing, yeah, some of my boys are on job, flossing, yeah, stunting on you and your people, how you gonna feel? You see what I'm saying? That's a positive outcome.
We're not talking about condoning it right now. What we're talking about is, why is this happening?
Why is it happening?
You can sit there and hate what he does all you want, but that ain't changing shit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, but let's see what the youngest got to say, man. What you got for Alex? What do you think about, like, obviously, you're like, how old are you?
16.
16, obviously, a lot of your kids your age, yeah, are selling drugs. And I'm not saying all of them, selling drugs and getting involved in knife crime. So what is it like being your age? I'm not saying you shop, but what is it like being your age? And
make it tangible. If he approached you in the street to floss on people like me, what are you gonna say? Make it tangible.
Well, let's see what is it like.
He's a 16-year-old boy, so let him say what he has to say, you know.
So if he was to approach me, like, I would be scared because when about the car, of course.
Without the belly.
It would be a bit shaky, but I don't know. It depends what he has to say. Like if he says like, I'm gonna do the job, blah blah blah. I'll say no, of course, because I'm a good boy, because I was raised right. My parents. Other people like my age don't get that the same.
What's your experience of it? What's your experience of the ends of shotters of
Trust
violence?
me, don't see me like you see me as a local. You see me regularly.
What's your experience of the ends?
Not as a stranger just walking up talking to a little kid. You see me regularly. You know my face, innit? Yeah.
Well, seeing young ones at my age is quite deep because their parents must be like in deep grief. They like people that go to church. Their boys or sons have died for no reason. It's quite sad at my age as well.
It's getting out of hands. Like innocent kids are dying for no reason. They don't do anything, but because they're walking on someone else's turf or area, they just get killed.
Sorry, big man, yeah. You're sitting there and talking about, this is your lifestyle and all this. Like, you ain't got nothing, bro. You can go to university, you can go to college, you get paid all that paid for. I mean, you can get a job, all that's paid for. If you steal an apple or something, if you're hungry, you steal an apple or £1 a bowl, you ain't gonna get your ends cut off. You might get a slap on the wrist, you might even get away with it. You know what I mean? But what I don't like about this kind of thing is everybody's talking like, we're in the ghetto. I'm gonna try and get on my... There's no ghetto in England. You can't show me not one place in England is ghetto. If you want to see ghetto, let me show you.
Not that simple. You know when your mum's suffering, yeah, you want to provide for your family, innit, and make differences. Yeah, you can't get paid. This is straight cash in hand. Yeah, 24/7. I'm my own boss. I do my own job. Yeah, so no one can tell me nothing, no one can tell me no one can tell me this. If I want something, I could take it. Yeah, it's laws is making it like that, innit? Yeah, laws is making it wrong. But really and truly, if I ain't gonna do it, someone else is gonna do it. And right now, man's reaping the rewards, innit? You know what you sign up for. I got plans, I got goals, innit? Like you said, everyone had aspirations, innit? So once I have my shit in order and my stuff running properly, things can change, innit? They can't put no time limit on anything. If I'm winning, why am I gonna stop winning?
Hold up, before we go, when you said like you had aspirations, that sparks something in me because this is something that I said on a track that I wrote recently, is the fact that we're not even glorified, we celebrate all of these people that have achieved great things, but when you actually look into it, the way that they got there is usually pretty criminal. And I'm not just talking about Jay-Z or rappers, I'm talking about politicians, I'm talking about Fortune 500 companies. These people are big boy drug dealers and killers, you get me, dealing in all kinds of madness, but it's legal. The way that they do it is legal. And then they go on to fund, they go on to fund, thank you, 1 second, they go on to fund charities and do this and do that and become, philanthropists, you know what I'm saying? But the way that they got up there,
it's a bit mash up.
It's a bit mash up. And if they were sitting here right now, you'd be like, well, wagging your finger. But when you look at it as a young man, and you see these people that are celebrated in society for doing well, for changing the world, but they come up from the same way that you're trying to come up.
Yeah, but the thing, the difference between... I'm sorry.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
The difference is that if the child gets caught now, where is he?
I hear you.
Where is he? I'm saying, you get the next pick now and then done.
I hear you. I get you. I'm not disputing. I'm not disputing. Like, but all I'm saying is maybe the way that we celebrate certain people and certain things that they've achieved needs to change before we start saying, right, don't do that. How can you say to a kid, don't do that, yeah, when he sees no other way out and everybody that he's looking up to is winning that way?
So would you argue against it when
do you know what I'm saying?
Would you argue against it?
I don't feel like the music influences kids to do things, but it does glamorize things that aren't necessarily, shouldn't be glamorized. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying about the whole thing of stabbing and shooting and stuff, is that in music and in media, it's portrayed as being really easy and cool. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's making people go out and do it, but when people are doing these things, I don't think there's anything showing them the seriousness of it. You never see somebody in a music video, you know, when you see someone get stabbed, you never see the bit where they've got a shit pipe in them and they're in a hospital with pipes and tubes sticking out of them. No one ever shows you that side of it. You know what I'm saying? No one ever shows kids the realities of what that actually is, you know? So I feel like, yeah, if you are making those kind of films, music videos, maybe you need to express the realities of it, not just the glamorous, yeah, I was in the whip and I had the strap on me. Do you get me? Like, you've got to show both sides of this, you know?
There is always different ways though.
I'm sure there is. But you know, have you ever heard the saying, can't see the wood for the trees? Have you never heard the saying, can't see the wood for the trees, yeah? Yeah, there might be a different alternative. There might be a different alternative for my man to do something else. But right from where he is, from his position, from where he's sitting, he can't see that. Do you get me? He can't see the role.
Situation. You know, this is what I say, yeah? It's like finding out that your son is having sex for the first time, yeah? No, seriously.
No, I want to hear this now.
You can't just say to your son, stop having sex, because once you pop, you can't stop. You know that, right? So what I can say to my son is, you know what, yeah? If you're going to do it, you're going to do it properly. It's condoms, right? So I know I can't stop it.
In context, you said, well, here's the first round.
No, what I'm saying, yeah? So when I talk to a lot of people like yourself, yeah, that's shotting on road and do their thing, and I always say to them, listen, if you're going to do that, if that's where you're making money, then that's what you're going to do. But you know what? Get out of the game. Find a way out of the game. You've got so much money. Yeah. If I say to the boy, if I say to him, stop shotting, he can say, shut up, man. But if I say to you, okay, do your thing, but guess what? Get out of the game. Don't be a dumbass and stay in the game. Because once you get nicked, yeah, you lose everything. Once you get a bullet in your head, you lose everything. You know what I'm saying to you? Do you mean do something with your life, innit? Like if you're going to shot, as I said, if you're going to shot, yeah, come out the game as soon. Go in the game to come out as soon as possible. You start early, yeah, to flipping come out early. You don't just stay in the game, shotting all your life. When you're 50 years old, you're still shotting. That doesn't make no sense.
Everyone's got a different path, everyone's got a different route, everyone's got a
your mum didn't, I bet you
everyone's got different...
Your mum didn't raise you to be a shotter alive.
Come on, bro.
You get me? Obviously. Like, I bet...
But you have to make the best of your environment.
How do you feel about all these kids dying on the streets? How do you feel about that?
You know what? Obviously, people die every day, innit? Everyone knows that, innit? Yeah, they die every day, yeah?
I'm from the same place, bro. Like,
yeah, no, but I hear you, but that doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay. I'm just saying it happens all day.
It doesn't make it okay.
Money don't stop, people die.
Yeah, but
that's it. You still got to pay your bills.
I would like to see less kids dying over this.
So what would you do if your child died? I'd touch with
it would destroy me, bro. I'll be honest.
Come on, bro. It doesn't destroy anybody. It destroyed me if one of my runners died. I would be upset. Duh. Come on, bro. For more than one. Obviously, I care about my money, but I care about my kids. I care about my team, innit? And if you're part of my team, then I will care about you. But really and truly, if you're not, then I don't.
You can't just blame the drug dealers. There's also the music got a part to do with it.
See, for me, that's close to my heart, that one right there. Obviously, I do my thing, yeah. But see, with music, like a lot of people say, oh, music doesn't influence the youth to do anything. Yeah, I disagree. I do disagree, but it's not that I'm saying like, oh yeah, they're listening to trap and then they're going out and they're shanking people. It's not how it goes. That's not where it is. Yeah, you're in a certain lifestyle. Do you know what I'm saying? But then when you're sitting there for 24 hours a day, sitting in a trap car, sitting in a trap yard or whatever, and you're just listening to this man, it becomes instinctual. You get me? You get into a situation which you are going to get into because you're trapping. You have got a shank. You are just gonna. It's programming. Do you know what I'm saying? When you watch a TV program, that's what it does. It programs.
But there's been scientific studies that says that that's not true.
I disagree.
About GTA and all them things.
I disagree. I've sat there and played 20 hours of GTA, and then walked outside before I could jump out the car door. I've done that.
I've been driving and I've said, oh, I can swerve and I can kill people.
You fooled it. But that's impulse control. Some people don't have
holding yourself to a higher standard.
But not everybody has that.
People need to learn that skill. Like that needs to be a skill that is.
Brother, how are you gonna teach them that? You gonna answer for that one, huh?
At the end of the day, what would stop is if you stop coming in and telling people different things. Because at the end of the day, hold on, wait. If you're taking your own journey, amongst the myriad of problems in this society, already, you're on your own journey, on your own battle. For someone of such stature, as the guy said, he would be intimidated to come on and impart his world onto you. How are you going to find your way if you've got people coming left, right, and centre from you? It's hard enough in this world to have your own opinion, to have your own mindset, without without the teacher telling you this, and then not just telling you a random thing, telling me, oh yeah, but you can make fast money.
Brother, these kids are getting paid, but they're getting their life money. They're going for trips. They're looking nice, feeling fresh, feeling comfortable, bro. Yeah, you don't know these kids as well, bro. That's children. Don't approach no random kid like some fiddler sign, bro. Come on, man. I see these faces around. They see me. They talk to me. They feel comfortable. Same way my guy said he would say no. Next man says yes. Simple. If you're around 14, 15, 16, then you're, as far as I'm concerned, you're old enough to make your own decisions. And if you want to come join the squad, join the squad.
And what do you think the way for? Let me ask this to you. Yeah, please. What do you think the way forward is? Yeah, to stop this trapping thing and young kids getting into trapping and moving food and even banging guns for the elders. Because I swear this guy, he must have said something on mission. He must have said 100% few kids on mission. What do you think about that? Don't be scared.
This guy is getting on to me sharp, man. Sharp. Real talk, man. Real talk. Like, you come from a different life, bro. You're doing a different thing, bro. Like, you don't know me, you don't know my story. That's it, bro. So relax, man. Real talk.
Guys, chill. Brother, let's see what the youngest girls say, man. Let them answer the question.
I'll say the youth need better facilities.
Facilities? Yeah. You think facilities going to do it?
Yeah. I think it's all for the money, to be honest. Because they see other people with better clothes, everything better than them. They're like, someone approaches them, they're like, oh, here's my opportunity to get money. And then they go for it. They do what they need to do. But it's not legal, but they do it.
Like
keep them away from the street. They got better things to do, play with their friends instead of people like him approaching them.
There you go. People like him. The truth of my saying, people like him. Don't listen to people like you, know.
But listen, now.
Can I step it away? Yeah. No, it's not that.
This guy, you're pissing me off, bro.
Man,
let me just tell you.
Okay, and so did that. Yeah. At the end of the day, everybody needs to hold themselves to a different level. Now, I'm saying that he's a big man, and you can't be approaching it.
Brother, watch your mouth, you know, because you're talking too much, bro. Real talk. You're talking too much, innit? Yeah, so you need to hold your lips. You don't know me, you don't know where I'm from, you don't know my story, nothing, bro. Yeah, you stick to your 9 to 5, you stick to your life, yeah. You live that lifestyle, that £7.50 wage lifestyle. You go do that, innit? Yeah. Yeah. Don't watch me. Don't watch me and watch I do with these kids. Yeah. Because more time, these kids.
You're right, but chill.
Obviously, like there's cameras and that. Man is behaving like he's big bollocks because there's cameras in it. I'm not gonna be silly in that part. Really and truly, he's coming from a totally different perspective, innit? I don't really care. He's just chatting shit as far as I'm concerned. Just chatting shit, like, he don't understand. He definitely don't understand.
Do you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not from their world, but I'm not stupid. So I know people around that world. I've seen enough, sounds pompous, but I've seen enough documentaries talking about people from that world. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't need to directly view from the world. If I was from that, because the argument they're trying to hit me with is, if I was from that world, the fact that I'm not from that world means that I can't understand. But it's because I'm not from that world that I can understand. Because I'm not trapped into looking at the same thing you're looking at. I can see from an overarching point of view. I can say, this is what you lot are following, the path that you lot are doing. But I'm not in that lifestyle, so I'm able to cultivate a different sense of ideas. I wasn't trapped from a young age trying to fight for my own survival. Therefore, I'm able to look back on it and say, hold on a minute, because I didn't have to fight for reputation or fight to be significant, I can look back into this lifestyle and say, hold on a minute, this is what you guys are doing and this is how I have effectively left the system for that basis. I don't live down here, I didn't live down here, I grew up in Norwich. So therefore, I'm able to see two parts of the same coin. Being brought up in Norwich, being raised in Norwich allowed me to understand, hold on a minute, there is other systems out there, or other worlds, other places that you don't have to value reputation to win.
Yeah, so you're both right. Can I just step in? And this is what I'm saying. This is the trap that we're falling into, because right now it's about everybody wants to be right. And the thing is, like, you've got a lot of for you. If you don't mind, I'm going to step in and challenge you for a minute, because what I'm going to say is that, like, you're saying a lot of very valid points, but I don't think it's as black and white as you're presenting it. So I think a discussion like this, we need to honour the fact that everyone's got a different nuance. And really, when someone brings a story, what I think for me to move forward, I'd be more interested, rather than say my point, because people have been saying their point for years and that hasn't worked. We now need to be going, well, tell me about your world. Why does I don't agree with it, but why does your world work? Let me see the okay, you finish. Let me understand the logic to why you get from A to B, because that's not the route I will get to. I think there's learning in that, because I think you're saying a lot of beautiful things, but if people ain't on your wavelength, they're not going to hear you.
Okay,
and unfortunately, they'll see you as arrogant.
So somebody said earlier, right, it falls down to a broken home. So if he come from a broken home, then that's the issue. He needs to check himself because he's come from a broken home.
Right, but what I'm saying is, listen,
real talk, yeah?
It's what I'm saying.
Attacking you.
I'm allowed to shut up.
You don't know me, bro. You don't know me, bro.
That's the issue. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Because you hold yourself to a higher standard, bro. Hold yourself to a higher standard, bro. Hold yourself to a higher standard, bro. Look at you. You're just lucky, bro. You're a tramp. You're a tramp. I am lucky because I do my thing. I do my thing.
Stop it. I'm saying no need.
We're trying to have a conversation and debate this, innit? We're not trying to have a person.
I hear that, but you know what? Listen.
Don't let tight jeans or sunglasses confuse you. I'm not an idiot. I'm not a dickhead. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow somebody that I don't know to step up to me. People like that are like that. They push their own selves only because they're used to that reaction. They're used to being the dangerous one. So they think they can act and do whatever they want to people, but that's not how it goes. It's just not like, so how I feel about it, it was I expected it. I did expect it. But I needed to make it clear, especially in front of the kids, like, cool, you're a drug dealer, cool, you're a bad man, alright, cool, you make money, but even though that's the case, you can't step to me though. I'm trying to show these children, they said to me earlier, they're saying, bro, trying to hit front of you, I'm about to actually speak louder than words. So for me, they saw that I disagreed, they saw that he very much agreed. They also saw that he agreed so much he's ready to fight for it, and they saw that I disagreed so much I was prepared to fight for it. So there's always two sides of the same coin.
Bro, that guy's a prick, bro. He's a dickhead. I'm telling you now, he's a prick. He's a fuckboy. He's a pussy. He's the dickhead. He's the coward, bro. Yeah, he's trying to act bad because his camera's here, this and that. He wouldn't say that to my face on road, innit? On road, behind them doors, I'm telling you, it'll be a different scenario. It'll be a different picture. It'll be a different scene. Yeah? He's lucky I was that patient. On all my life.
At the end of the day, I've got siblings, innit? So when people, I'm not ignorant. I know that this happens, innit? Don't get twisted, I know this happens. But at the end of the day, people just need to, like, come on, man, he's a big man. There's other ways to make money.
But we're not here to attack him personally, but we're here to get to the root cause of it.
So if he's gonna be so confident in front of children and talk about, oh yeah, boom, sell, I'll be so confident and say the opposite and say don't sell, that's bullshit.
Fair enough, but you weren't addressing the children, you was addressing him.
But the children can see, I'm not.
You weren't addressing, you was trying to be the martyr.
Actually speak louder than words. Actually speak louder than words.
Just calm down.
Actually speak louder than words, innit?
Yeah, but the thing
this is not what we're here for.
My actions.
So what they've just seen now is two grown men fighting.
Listen, they saw the top shotter move for me. Did I stand up? Did I stand up?
Can I say something?
Please.
What they've just seen is the same narrative that they've been seeing all this time. We've been talking about. It's two people not being able to get to a.
On the fact that they started fighting and that the way that he reacted, yeah, that is the type of stuff that's gonna negatively affect debate and conversation. That's the type of behavior we need to get past. Even if you are in that lifestyle, when we're having these kind of conversations, you have to communicate. Communication is the only way we're ever gonna, and understanding where everyone's coming from, the only way we're ever gonna rectify these issues in society. That's it.
Have a conversation and get to a conclusion. All you can do is fight. All you've done is perpetuate the same stereotypes. That's all you've done right now. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel what you're trying to say, but that's not how you do it. You get me?
Sure. Because the thing is, this is what I'm trying to say to you. Whatever we're doing isn't working, and when we're there trying to say, look, you're hear me, this is my story, and you're saying the same thing to me, we're just talking at each other, we're not listening. To be honest with you, I wasn't surprised that Ace, with Ace reacting like that, because in my head, from the get-go, I felt like Kay, his points and opinions, although carried a lot of truth in it, was very black and white, and was almost although he had some points to say, he wasn't willing to acknowledge what Ace was saying. And I think from Ace's point of view, denting ego. I mean, you know, the streets is all about holding that pride, and if anyone's going to come to you on a level, you're going to do something about it. And I think Ace was being attacked intellectually by K. So it was only going to be a matter of time before he reacted, you know.
You know my stance. My stance is that it's just wrong. I just don't believe that they've got the right to approach children and almost corrupt them because they've had a bad childhood themselves. I mean, but following the charade, I was talking to some of them, and not the lad, but talking to some of them, and they educated me. They were telling me about the fact that it's not just black and white. There is other ways to look at it, but I still believe that I just can't see past the fact that there's other ways.
Although everybody feels that what they've got to say is the right thing, I think what we have to acknowledge is the scale of the problem, and I think we have to kind of respect that everybody has got a truth, and rather than spending time telling people that they're wrong, I think we can all learn something from saying, you know what, I don't understand how you've got from A to B. I don't agree with it, but this is how I will get from A to B. Why are you getting from A to B in that route? And take time to understand it, and it's quite an uncomfortable thing. I think at the moment, a lot of people, if they hear a narrative that they don't agree with, they shut it down. But then 10 years later, we're then having the same discussions. Maybe if we don't shut down these discussions, we might learn something that in 5 years' time, we can address it properly.
It doesn't, you know, if you're out there trapping or doing whatever you're doing now, you don't have to be a bad person. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't, just because you're trapping doesn't mean you have to be an evil guy. And if you are doing them kind of things there, like, I don't encourage it, I don't condone it, but have a target, set yourself a goal, get out, because it's not forever, it can't be forever. You're gonna get it, you're gonna die. That's how it's gonna happen, you know? And for the people that are not living that life, do you know what I mean, and don't wanna live that life, don't judge other people on the way that they're living. You know what I'm saying? If you can help. If you can offer a perspective different to them, offer them that. But don't ever sit there and point your finger at somebody when you don't know where they're coming from. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the type of thing that's gonna happen. You're gonna get people's backs up. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
Yo, you made it to the end of the video. That's it for another week of Barber Banter. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and we see you next week for another edition of Barber Banter.